Look at you now, boy. Look at you now. Before the Bell podcast, slamming all comers. Bloodlines, crime time, real bath water. The boys' mind burns a CT. On your way to the count, 1, 2, 3. For the Bell podcast. Before the Bell podcast. Bell ringers.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this very special edition of the Takedown, where we talk about exactly what was brought up. First of all, I think we need to start at the very beginning. A lot of you guys have asked, what happened to Jay? And we have been more than respectful and kind to Jay. We've only said we wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors, which I still do. However, the thing that started with Jay, we've done 39 episodes with Jay, and throughout those episodes, from episode 1, literally, the first problem that was said, we came in on episode 2. I said, hey guys, I think that we should start doing clips. I think we should start doing these things with the pages. And in the middle of that, he's like, hey, you know, I do this. And it's like, huh? What are you talking about? I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a long time. I was like, hey man, we all have. I'm not saying that you haven't, but I'm just saying I know what will work on social media for us to grow. And he started catching these attitudes. And from that point, I was like, all right, okay, this is somebody that wants everything to either be their idea or this is something that they're the driving force behind. So learning that, we continue to do episodes, and if people have watched the episodes, they're like, oh man, this is great. I was getting agonized because every time Martin or myself would pitch a joke or we'd be in the middle of a point, we would be interrupted for no reason at all other than to make himself look good, or he would try to take the moment to make a moment for himself for clips once clips got involved. After those moments began to happen, then it just became episodes where y'all saw, I'm high, I'm just here. I don't give a fuck. I'm cool, man, whatever's going on. Or, oh, Martin and CT, y'all got y'all relationship. It's like, what? First of all, especially at that time, we weren't even talking outside of the show.
Yeah.
So the episodes go on. Chemistry wasn't right, but we were fucking doing it and just making it through because we knew this show could be and will be even bigger than it is right now. And as we continue to grow, there came more and more attention with him. Every time there was a fallout, every time there was an argument, he was at the center. Martin and I have been doing the show for a year now. We have yet to have an argument or a disagreement. Our producers, yet to have an argument, have a disagreement. But every single person involved in this show has always had a problem centering with that man, right? We get past that, and each point of the way, as you might ask, where did Burns come in? Burns came in because, one, this was originally his YouTube channel. And he's like, yo, this is an incubator channel. I want all of these shows to kind of start on this YouTube page, develop their own following, and go on about their way. And Burns became someone that we always went to when we had a problem with Jay, because this is his channel. So it's like, hey man, talk to your boy. We've tried to talk to him. And just in case you guys are wondering, what do we mean? We have group chats. We have a text group chat and an Instagram group chat where we would bring ideas and thoughts or have conversations in the group chat, Martin and I with Jay. And the minute that something was said that Jay didn't like or something that he might not agree with, he would stop responding. He would go ghost.
Or he'd threaten to quit the show.
He would threaten to quit the show. We were dealing with someone who had the actions and the behavior of a child. And I'm a man. Martin is a man. We handle our problems. We handle tough conversations like men. We talk about them. Nobody's going to fight, even though we almost fought once. We're not going to fight. We're just trying to talk, and he couldn't deal with that. So there were several times we had to get Chris involved to where we felt like children. Yeah. Hey, Burns.
I'll even give an example, just to kind of set the tone of like something that occurred that would have hurt all of us, right? So when we were building the channel, we all had access to the Instagram, to the Patreon, to the YouTube, TikTok, everything. We all shared the passwords. The one thing that he had though was the RSS feed to upload the audio onto Spotify, Apple Music, things of that nature. So when it came to where we were like, hey, since you have all the passwords and we're trying to share all the passwords, so if anything happens where you're not available, could you give us the password to the RSS feed? He said, no, I got that. And we were like, but that's not what we're doing. If we're going to build this together, we all should be able to have that. And I've known him for several years. And I still consider him a friend. Like I tried to be cordial, although, you know, this has hurt our friendship in a lot of ways. But yeah, he refused to give us the RSS feed. And knowing him, I said, oh, that's because he wants that leverage. So if he does get fired from the show, or if he does at some point quit the show, he wants to have that as you can't have this. This is like the final key to dangle that carrot. And I knew that as soon as we had that conversation.
And remember that point. Let's put a pin in that part right there. He has control of the RSS feed. He says, I got that. I'm going to control that. Hold on to that. Let's go a step further because we're saying everything. Let's fucking say it. This channel was originally with you and the brother Prim and all of you guys. We were two separate shows. It wasn't called Nancast yet. It was that show, and it was Before the Bell. We were the shows that were on the YouTube channel. In that
BBC Club, that's what
BBC Club. Yeah. Thank you. So BBC Club. So it came to where I said to Martin and the Jay, I said, hey guys, this channel is gaining subscribers quickly. We're about to hit 1,000 and the money is about to start being made. I think we need to talk to these brothers and see what we're going to do as far as the channel, because they're not really uploading anything. We're uploading everything. If it's something where we can have the channel, or B, we decide how we're going to do the money or who's going to be in charge of what, let's have that conversation. But I want all of us to be on one accord, one band, one sound before we meet with Burns and Prim, because I don't want us to sound like we have any dissension or any hiccups within what we're saying. Martin agrees. Jay is like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm kind of caught in the middle because I'm on both shows. I say, absolutely. So you don't even have to talk. It could be just Martin and I talking, but we just need to make sure that we're all on the same page as far as things that are said. Yeah, that's cool. All right, bet. Let's have a meeting and talk about some of our thoughts and things that we would like to bring up, or some of our hesitations or trepidations before we get to the meeting. We had about 3 meetings before we have the meeting with Prim and Burns. And in that meeting, we were having a conversation about his involvement with BBC. And I'm like, okay, well, you guys are doing that on a different page. How has it been financially for you guys over there? And then he let us know what it was like over there. I'm not going to put that Burns' personal business out, but it wasn't something that would make me think you're about to be all in on that side, where we're clearly building up and starting to see some bread soon over here. Now it's time for the group meeting. We have the group meeting, and when we have the group meeting, as soon as we come in, Martin and I are there, we're excited. Burns and Prim are there. They're like, all right, so what are we meeting about? And Jay got this look where he's just like, and it's like, that's an interesting fucking look to have. Especially when we're supposed to be all on one page. It's some bullshit is about to happen. Yeah. So as we get into the meeting, I think Prim says, all right, so what are we here for? And we're like, all right, well, we just want to see what we're going to do with the channel. Like, can it be us having this channel since we're posting more? Or are you guys going to post more? Like, how's this going to work with money? Blah, blah, blah. And then Jay says, well, you know what? Let me say this. I haven't even shared this with my Before the Bell partners, but I think I want to keep everything as is. I want to keep everything. This was always the plan for us to be on this and for us to have multiple shows. And that's just what it should be. And right then, I'm immediately pissed because I'm like, this is some snake shit. You just blindsided us when we had the opportunity to talk about this before we came into this meeting with Burns and Prim. At that point, Prim, rightfully so, well, hold up. Y'all keep the channel. Why is it going to keep the channel? And we the one who built this. And hold on a second. Whose idea was it to have this meeting? I said, hey, man, we're not doing that. It was all of our idea to have this meeting, and we're here now. If you guys are saying y'all don't want this to go down a certain way, we won't have it go down a certain way. And mind you, me saying this, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Prim. This conversation is to show my anger and disdain with how somebody that I was on the show with conducted themselves in a partnership they're supposed to have. So from that moment, I was like, oh, this is some snake shit. And it pissed me off because me personally, I've had this dude in my house on Thanksgivings and a fucking Christmas, and all of us separately have looked out for this man, and all of what I'm saying will make sense as we continue. Go ahead with the next part, brother.
Yeah. So that the RSS feed thing happens after that. And then I forgot what was the next. Oh, the next kind of big thing was we were talking about, possible guests for the future and like who we all know and stuff like that, and who we could bring to, again, to make this channel grow. That's been my thing since day one, is how do we make the show grow? How do we pay it off to our fans and pay it off to the bell ringers and the people who support us and watch the show? Who would they like to see? What stories would they like to, hear from potential guests and stuff like that? So I said, who all do we know? Like, can we come up with a list? Because I think there was we had mentioned like wanting Chris Van Vliet on the show, because he records in LA, he travels a lot, this, that, the third. And like a week later, our former co-host said, "Oh yeah, that's the homie, I know him." And we're like, "Why didn't you tell us that shit when we brought it up?" He goes, "Oh, I didn't know y'all wanted that." It was like, why the fuck would we have talked about it if we weren't saying we want this person as a guest?
Yes.
And so then I came up with this suggestion, because I'm very solution oriented. I always try to think of different alternatives. Again, I want this thing to grow because it's important to me, it's important to you guys, it's important to all of us. And so I was like, okay, what if we all three of us, just list out what former WWE superstars or like comedians who are into wrestling or actors or whoever who would be a great guest for the show. And CT was with it, and then our former co-host was like, "Yeah, I ain't doing all that." We're like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, because then what if y'all just gonna act like I don't actually know these people?" And I was like, "What? No one is saying you don't know these people. That's the whole fucking point of us compiling the list, is the people that we could contact." I was like, you always brag about all these people you know and who you've worked with. Like, yeah, I wrestled him back at AWA back in 2007. So we did Mid-South, so that's how I know him. I was like, okay, so this shit's impression.
I absolutely hate it.
Or we would have a guest on that one of you or I brought on, and his immediate thing was like, "Oh, yeah, that's the homie. Why didn't y'all tell me y'all wanted him? I could have got him on the show." And it's like, we've literally asked who you know to be able to get guests on this show. So several circumstances like that. And I'm going to give Martin his credit right now. As y'all see, I get annoyed quickly with bullshit. I, too, am for solutions. Martin has been the saving grace and peace between us three during those 39 episodes. Every time I will blow up at Jay because Jay did some stupid shit or Jay got mad at both of us over something, Martin would be the voice of reason to try and get us all to be on one page, one band, one sound.
Yeah. And and I think there's actually something in the middle. So for the people who signed up to Patreon early, I don't know if you remember this, for those who were there, the very beginning stages, we said, hey, we're going to send out some action figures and stickers. So I paid to get the stickers made. I paid to ship out the all those figures from UPS, right? That's not just like some things that's just easy to do, right? It's not inexpensive because there's people all over the country who are receiving those items, right? So when I presented that to our former co-host and CT, I was like, hey, this is the price. This is like the full price for everything, shipping, da. And I even said, if you can help me out, I would appreciate it, right? I usually try not to put that much pressure. I know people have stuff going on, whatever, right? CT was very gracious. Yeah, man. We'll talk about it. I got you though. Sent me whatever that was, right? Our former co-host was like, I ain't even got it, man. I got to do this, and then this person needs that, and then my rent, and da, and I don't know how I'm gonna do all this. I just can't do the show. I just want to be able to do the show no more, clearly, because I didn't know it was gonna be all this. I didn't know it was gonna be all this money and stuff. I got to pay for this. I got to pay for that. I'm like, hey, man, I didn't even say you have to pay me right now. I'm just giving you the overall of what it's gonna be.
Also, this was like $100 and something, but split 3 ways.
Yeah, it was not like anything insane. No. So I was like trying to like calm him down and shit, and that's when it like led to one of the like he threatened to quit the show at least 5 or 6 times. Facts. And that was so he would threaten to quit over an argument. He threatened to quit if he felt like if he was in the wrong, it would never be, okay, I see where I messed up. It would be, oh, you guys are ganging up on me. And I'd be like, no one's ganging up on you. We're just saying, hey, there's a better way to do this, or here's a solution, or hey, maybe don't go against XYZ, right? But
I got fucking ganged up on. I was getting mad, and Martin would be like, all right, listen, man, come on, CT, you can't keep getting mad at him. And I'm like, this motherfucker. All right, man. So like the ganged up on is an equal feeling, but it was for the betterment of the show.
Yeah.
Martin has always been the voice of peace with all of us trying to think clearly as far as the show was concerned.
Oh, and then he tried to fight me.
He did try to fight you.
Yeah. Over actually for this fucking the reason I'm wearing this shit. So when we did the race, and we, you know, I drove him to the hospital because he said that he tore his quad and all this shit. And we were like, okay, if you tore your quad, you wouldn't be able to walk.
No.
That's like everything you're doing is not a torn quad. But whatever, right? Take him to the hospital because and again, it was just a matter of he didn't want to lose. I get that, right? Take him to the hospital, and then we were supposed to go to, that was the holiday tour. Yeah. And we had gotten tickets, so we ended up having to call Burns and get Burns to come to the holiday tour instead. And he was like, no, I can still make it. We're like, no, man, you said you tore your quad. Right. You went to the hospital. You won't be able to walk upstairs or in the parking lot or any of that shit, right? So then it became this like kind of weird one-upsmanship of like machismo and showing how tough he was, because everywhere I saw him on, it was New Year's, and he was walking normally, and then he saw me and he started limping.
Hilarious.
And I was like, all right, man. I was like, I said, so you got a case of the loser's limp, right? and then he started crashing out over that shit. And then later on that night, me and my girl and our boy Mateen were all at the Improv, right? And he had done a show there, and there was someone who was on the show with him. And I was like, hey, how is he standing like during the show? He was like, he was fine. He's been fine all night. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I just wanted to check if it was just him like acting out in front of me or whatever, right? So then he came over, and because I'm the type of person, whatever I say to you behind your back or whatever I say in the vicinity, I'm going to say it also to your face, because I never want any kind of like miscommunication. I'll tell you straight up, I don't give a fuck who you are, right? And so I tell him the exact context of that conversation. I was like, yeah, I hear you've been standing and walking fine all night. He goes, yeah, but you don't know how much pain I'm going through. That's the life I live. I live with pain. Every day I have is just full of pain. All right, I've been taking 14 milligrams of ibuprofen all night. I've been popping these, right? So he's going off the deep end and all this shit, and then he, as if it's 2002, he resorts to like a gay joke, right? And he's like, yeah, well, people, it's not just me. People think you and Mateen gay. So I'll just let you know. I said, I thought you probably gay. And I go, it's very funny that I'm getting called gay by a nigga who don't get bitches. Ooh. And that's what, because he doesn't, and that's what set him.
This is going in a direction.
Yeah,
go ahead, keep going.
No, but that's
tell him how you feel.
Yeah, but that's what set it. I'm just telling the truth. That's what set it over the edge. Because I get bitches. I gotta start stumping motherfuckers out again. That's what gotta start happening. And I go, okay, so you're gonna beat me up at the only club that still books you, and then that. So he kept acting like he was gonna leave, and then he just kept coming back, because that's the thing he does all the time too. But that all again centered, and he said he was gonna. That was the first time he threatened to quit the podcast. He sent us a group message quitting the podcast, and then he went back and deleted it. So that was another thing he would do. He quit the show and then go back and delete whatever he said, either quitting or saying he was taking a break and shit like that.
Happened all the time. So that was the second time, because the first time was with the mailing stuff out.
Yeah.
So that would happen a couple of times. To focus even more on the show, it became these things where if he was not, okay, you guys have left comments like, hey, what happened to Jay? What happened to Jay? Listen, man, I don't know how to get y'all to see how the show was before Burns got here. There were several times where Martin and I will be talking about something, or one of us goes into a joke, and then he would interrupt that joke to say nothing, to read just a regular comment that had nothing to do with anything that might be, hey, Jay, I like your shirt. Oh, yeah, appreciate that shirt. Oh, go ahead. What were you saying? Like, this kind of ego shit to where it fucks up the flow of the show. Another thing that fucks up the flow of the show is when you don't sell We sell just like when we see in wrestling people sell their moves. We sell a joke. Something might be funny. We make it even funnier with us laughing or tagging onto it, and he wouldn't sell. If you go back to those episodes where you see, and I would say, hey man, give this brother his props, man. Look at this costume he just came in here with. No, I'm just saying, and would look for something to tear this man down on. And I'm like, all of this shit plays on camera to where it makes it look like not a cohesive unit, and this is hurting the show. All of this stuff hurts the show if we're not fans of each other. You could be a heel on something. I just said Burns is a fucking heel, but Burns be selling shit and Burns be setting shit up. So when you look at these old episodes and you see the moments that I'm talking about, look at one that I just looked back at because someone commented, Clash of the Castle Fallout. I was seeing it there, the high shit and the fucking stepping on shit, and it was just uncomfortable to be around. So by the time that he quit another time, when he quit that final time, it was like, hey man, you out this time, bro. We didn't give you enough passes. We didn't talk to Burns. We didn't had him try to counsel you because that's the only time we could get him on the phone. If we say, hey man, we need to have a group conversation, me, you, and Martin. Oh yeah, I'm busy. Hey Burns, we need to talk to Jay about X, Y, and Z. All right, I'll do the call. 5 minutes later, all four of us are on the fucking phone. And we're on the phone, we get it hashed out, and it started to get a little annoying to me because I had to continue to feel like I'm going back to daddy to talk to this motherfucker who's a grown man that could not speak to us as a man.
He's older than us.
He's older than us, but would go to social media and do all these sub tweets and all of this shit that you could fucking talk to us about. Then the thing with the snake and shit, it pissed me off because I've had you in my home. Then we go into the fact of us talking and having a conversation, and the show didn't seem like it was the focus. It only seemed like it was the focus once WWE things started to get involved, which Burns brought into us to help us. So when you guys say what happened to him and yeah, man, where's Jay? It's like, bro, he's not on the show because he was hurting the show. I don't see how y'all hadn't seen that, and maybe a lot of you guys have because I've read the comments, but it's one of those things where we were very respectful. We did not say anything bad about him, and I know you're wondering why now. I'm going to tell you why this Takedown episode is why we're talking about him. Episode 50 happened. We did episode 50. We did the award show. We posted it online. During that episode, I said, man, this is so great. I didn't start having fun on this show until episode 41. I said that. I didn't say anybody's name. I said that sentence. That next day, when the episode aired, the episode Monday night because it got taken down Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it got taken down for bullying at one point, and Martin told us, hey, it's back up though. We're like, all right, what the fuck? That's weird. That episode will be taken down for bullying, specifically because every day you get fucking bullied for something that you're wearing, and you be in it and we be having fun. So I'm like, I know that's not the thing. So we're like, bullying. And then one of us was like, yo, maybe it was the line that you said about episode 41. I'm like, yeah, but that would mean he had to do that. Like, I don't think somebody else would have done that. Also, to give you guys,
Justin Long isn't checking.
Yeah, Justin Long ain't saying shit. So the people who have the password to the YouTube, myself, Martin, Burns, Jay, our producer, Mark. That's 5 people. The episode, I'm jumping ahead. So it got taken down for bullying, got posted back up. Tuesday night at about anywhere between 11 and 12, the episode got deleted. And I'm like, yo, because I'm responding to comments. I say, yo, y'all, the episode is gone. At that point, Martin sees the email and takes the picture that says the episode was deleted by Uploader. We hit up our producer. The 5 people that we have, mind you, it's us 3, our producer, and Jay. Who does this affect the most? Us 4, because the producer, and us 3 will make money off the episode. That was so many super chats that episode got deleted. That means all of that shit gets forfeited. The one person who has the power to delete that shit that hasn't been on the show was Jay. Burns gets on the phone with YouTube, finds out all the shit we need. Y'all go ahead and talk, man. Let me calm down, man.
Yeah, I got woke up at like, I don't even remember what time.
That'd be like 1 or 2 in the morning.
It was like the third like missed call I had. It was miraculous that I even got that call because I was out. And then I saw the chat between y'all about the episode having been deleted. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe we got some kind of copyright strike or something where it was reported or blah, 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 blah. But everything was someone went into the back end and deleted the episode. That is a fact. That like it is not YouTube didn't do it. It wasn't from a report. It wasn't from any of that. Someone with access deleted the show, which was I start panicking because I'm like, I'm just immediately researching. Can they recover these episodes? Can it? And everything I saw said no. If you delete it, it's gone. Gone forever. And so I'm like, I got to get a YouTube. So I get a YouTube the next morning because the crash out was ready to happen that night.
We were all sick. Martin was going through it. I was mad.
You know what I mean? Because I'm just, I mean, look, I'll get to my piece in a second. Yeah. We'll just keep with the facts for a second.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, I'm like, okay, let me get with YouTube. I went through it with them. I had y'all on text. Like, if you had anything you want me to say to ask YouTube or whatever, you know, let me know. And I'm going through it with the lady.
And Martin said, get the IP address.
Yeah.
I said, make sure that, what did I say? I said, make sure that the super chats
everything stayed intact.
Yeah. Because people spent their hard-earned money. They got to fucking,
So, luckily, she was able to recover it. So she recovered the video intact with the likes and the chats and everything else, all the support. And then I immediately locked everyone out of the channel.
Yes. Yeah.
Changed the password, and then I only restored access to these two gentlemen. So that's where we are now. The fucked up part is I called Jay, and I was asking him, like, hey, like, this is the situation. The reason I'm talking to you, I'm not accusing you of nothing. But what I'm asking you is, everyone who had access says they didn't do it. So this is your opportunity to say, look, I got mad, or I, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, and deleted it.
Can I say something? If you talking about respect, I would have respected the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
I got mad as fuck. I didn't like that shit. I deleted the episode. I'm gonna be pissed still, but I respect that you told the truth.
Yeah.
And look, again, he denied it. He said he didn't do it. He was asleep. He didn't give a fuck. Why would he be in the back end? This is what struck me as the most interesting. Because I was like, look, it's somebody who had access to the back end. And he said, why would I look at the back end? Okay, great. So after that conversation, I told you guys what he said. Then I went into the whole exercise with YouTube. And then when I was looking on how to lock everyone out of the channel, I had a list in front of me from her prompts of where to go of who has access, who can log in. The one phone that isn't a fucking iPhone was logged into the back end while I was locking everybody out.
Wow.
So it's like, you are looking at the back end. At least you are right now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So what does that mean? Why would I look at the back end?
Wow. You hadn't said that sentence. You said he had looked at the studio, but I didn't understand what you just said until you just said looked at the back end.
Yeah.
And while you were locking everybody out too.
Yeah. So
wow.
So that is where I got involved in the situation. At least at this point. You've heard about all my having to mediate up until
a lot of mediation. So
and I still was trying to, because I'm at the airport, I'm dealing with traveling and shit like that, and I still was trying to give him grace. And again, not be accusatory. So I was like, hey, I hit him up on the side. I was like, hey, man, do you know who all has access to the YouTube channel? He was like, no, I don't know nothing about that. I was like, all right. I said, okay, well, yes, a video got deleted, so we're just trying to figure out what happened. And clearly, like it says, user deleted this video. Anytime YouTube would delete a video, they make it private or unlisted. That's how a takedown normally happens with a video, right? You could post a titty on Instagram right now. They won't delete the video. They'll make it private.
And he posted some titties on Instagram. Let me tell you.
So then he said, yeah, Burns called me about 40 minutes ago. Like I also told him, I honestly don't give a fuck about y'all pod, being I'm not part of it anymore. That sucks that happened, but I don't give a fuck. And I said, for sure. Well, do you know anyone who has access to the profile who would? He goes, don't know. And again, don't care. UNCT got y'all thing. Y'all figure that out and leave me out of it. I go, what thing is y'all podcast? I said, okay, so you absolutely swear on your family's lives you don't know anything about how the video got completely deleted from the channel and this IP won't triangulate to where you live. He goes, hey man, check this out. If the only time you're gonna hit me up is about the podcast, then don't. I don't give a fuck about it, and it could blow up or crash tomorrow, and I wouldn't give a fuck. And that told me everything I needed to know right there. That in that moment, where all like any other rational person would say, hey, I'm telling you, I didn't do it. I promise you, I didn't do it. I swear on my family's lives, I didn't do it. No, I would have taken a simple no, or even, hey, don't fucking bring my family into this.
Yeah.
Any of that would have indicated to me I didn't do this thing, or at the very least, I want to, misdirect something.
Mm-hmm.
That statement of I don't give a fuck what happens to the pod, it could crash, it could burn, I don't give a shit. That said to me, yeah, I did this, but I'm also just religious enough to not swear on my family's lives. That told me everything I needed to know.
Everything.
Yeah.
Because realistically, every example that you just gave of something that you could have responded with is logical. I'm even hit you with the, hey man, I don't do all that family swearing shit, but I'm telling you as a man, or I'm telling you I didn't do it. Any of those are fine. But to completely negate all of that and say, hey, don't talk to me about this shit. I don't give a fuck. And da-da-da. It's like, come on, man. You're the only person with access. Your IP is clearly attached to this. You're the only one with a fucking Android. No disrespect to people with Androids. We're just talking about how you're able to trace
it's
things.
ruined several group chats.
You know what I'm
It's been
saying?
a topic of discussion for quite a while.
Woo. So the reason that this is brought up today is because for you, it's fine for us to have respected you for this long and to say every time somebody say, hey, I bet Jay did this, or where's Jay, or I bet he gone because of this, for us to always say, hey, we wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors. That's the road that we took.
I'll even, not to interrupt, I'll do you one better.
Mhm.
When we had that discussion, like, number one, I even tried to give him the grace of like, hey, what if this is an option for you to just like do every other episode and then we have a guest or Burns or whatever. He was like, no, I want to be in every episode and I just won't say nothing to nobody. And that's when I was like, okay, then there's nothing that can be fixed, right? And on top of that, CT, again, being very, very gracious, was like, hey, all right, we're going to part ways. My only qualification is don't talk shit about us. We won't talk shit about you. And the first fucking thing he did was he said, yeah, when I was talking to the Blurred Brunch about it, they said I should have been quit. I should have been left. When I told them that I left, I was like, first off, nigga, you got fired. You didn't quit. You didn't leave. You were fired. You even tried to not get fired. You're like, what if I stay and just don't say nothing? That's not how this works. You can't then go like, again, he gave you the one caveat of don't talk shit about us.
Don't talk shit. I was very clear.
And he fucking did it.
He talked shit the first chance he got, but we still didn't talk shit.
Yeah.
The only reason that we're saying any of this now and letting you guys in on it now is because this brother did something that was untake-backable. You deleted an episode of our show that bell ringers spent their hard-earned money for, that bell ringers watched, and this is going to be one of our highest viewed episodes. It's episode 50, and you deleted the entire episode, not made it private. You could have inconvenienced us and made it private, and we'd be like, oh man, it's been made private for some hours. Let me make it back public. You deleted it, not even knowing that we could never recover it. Thank God that whatever magic that he has with white women got us this video back online, because that's fucking unheard of. So we got the video back, but you didn't know we get the video back, and he did that shit. He denied it, didn't stand on it. I'll give you one further. If I'm gonna do some evil shit, if I'm gonna delete a fucking episode, I'm deleting all you niggas episodes. I'm gonna delete you niggas episodes, and I wouldn't even delete it 50. I'd have deleted the one with Kathy Kelly. That's the one where it's like, this is our biggest name one. But to have done that, let me know that there was no honor anymore. And then why am I protecting you when you saying fuck us? And that's why we said this today. And that's what had been boiling our fucking blood, because you tried to take money out of our pockets. And even throughout this entire thing, after he left, we made sure he had his cut of the money that we made from the episodes he was a part of. And this is after that he has shat on us. So we had the fucking honor and tried our best to be upstanding. So that is why we decided to tell y'all this today. Any other thoughts, fellas?
still wish him well in his future endeavors. But, you know, I would hope that there is a lesson for him in this, in growth and maturity. It might not happen. I think we've had this discussion before. Mm-hmm. I've had discussions with him about it of like, hey man, you can't keep doing XYZ. And it's always been kind of met with like, I hear you, and then nothing changes. And after a while, it's like, then I have to be the change. And all of us have too much other shit going on. I think there was one point in the discussion a while ago where you know, we were talking about how he would always get upset and threaten to quit, or he would say he's got all these things going on, or financial obligations, or whatever. And the point that I made, it was episode, I think it was like 2 or 3. My grandmother had literally died, and her body was in the room next to me being carted off, but I still came in and fucking recorded, even remotely. And the fact that he can't stand up and at least be fucking honest with us, not even as coworkers or co-hosts or comedians, but as his fucking friends, that shit hurt.
You know, that's oof, nigga, goddamn. First, again, rest in peace to your grandmother. And I'm gonna tell you the weight, because you don't even know this. The weight, because that was a remote episode. I want to say it was 3. You were in Alabama. Your grandmother was in the other room. She was being taken away, and you got hit with a joke about the fact that you were doing the show when that was happening, and you laughed and continued the fucking show. And this is the woman that introduced you to wrestling.
Yeah.
And to uphold that type of professionalism and care about the show is something more than I know I could have even done. So we're dealing with somebody that could not put his own ego to the side. And in any circumstance, and everybody here has tried to fucking help him different ways. I'm done, man.
All right. So, I mean, look, we weren't sure whether or not we were going to have this conversation on this episode. I was like, we should, because CT and I watched the pay-per-view together last night with a group of people, and then Martin was out of town. It's like, yo, we should talk to Martin and figure it out before we address it. You know, we didn't have time to, so
he came in with the shirt.
Yeah,
that's what I was like. I can
imagine. Well, look, man, here's the deal. As far as this channel is concerned, I'm all about transparency. You know what I mean? I got ambushed when Prim and Jay had issues with what went down in Vegas. They didn't say a word to me about it. We got on the episode of BBC Club and was like, so what's up with fucking Usher in Vegas? I'm like, oh, excuse me? When I got you, what are you talking about? When I got you niggas discounted tickets to a show that everybody been trying to go to?
Oh, this happened on air. I thought
yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
100%.
Yes.
And, which I never said nothing about. I addressed it and was like, what you want to talk about?
Damn.
You know what I mean? And did the whole dance. So, and it's not about being salty about that. It's just like, okay, if that's how we gonna roll, let's do it. And so I wanted y'all to get y'all feelings out. I wanted y'all to let the people know how you felt and what went on from your perspective. What went on from my perspective was, look, me, Jay, Prim started this channel together. I had an idea. I was like, my funny friends are, to me, the most talented in the world. And there's no reason why in this age of content that I'm not getting with these brothers to create something that can benefit us all. I was like, I kept saying that from the beginning, we're stronger together. It's one thing when Martin got a channel, CT got a channel, Prim got a channel, everybody got a channel, whatever. But it's like, if we combine that effort, everybody can grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we build up subscribers on this channel, whatever show that starts on it has a head start. That's the whole idea. So, we started together. I knew, my background is in wrestling. I was in the Store Horseman podcast. That was a successful venture. I'm like, I know a wrestling show will work on this channel. I talked to you about it. I talked to Martin and Jay about it. And then it just kismet that it came together in before the bell is. So then imagine my surprise when I keep having to get hit up to mediate, situations between the three of you guys. Like, oh, Jay's holding this hostage. Jay, and it just kept being a common denominator. To where, again, I've said repeatedly, y'all show is y'all show.
Mhm.
What happened? My only concern is the health of the channel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, we're all supposed to be working towards a goal here. But I'm not interested in any of you guys' revenue.
Mhm.
I'm not interested in you guys overly promoting the channel at large. You know what I'm saying? Have I ever asked either of y'all to do any of that?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't mention Nancast around before the bell like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole idea, because that's what it's supposed to live as.
Yeah.
Like, this is just the fucking launching pad is what it is. That's all it is. And, it was like, oh, fuck, why do I have to be like the administrator? Why do I have to be like in charge?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I started it, but I don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, can you fix this for us? Well, help us solve this because blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
like, it's like, all right, man, but I feel like I have a level head. So I'm like, okay, I'll mediate best I can. And I have relationships with everybody. So it just got irritating to the point where it was like, guys, what do you want to do? Do we want to make a change here? Because it's going to affect the health of the channel if y'all are not on the same page. You know what I'm saying? And it was very clear that you weren't on the same page, and it wasn't going to happen. I mean, I'm making guest appearances, and people were like, why don't you just be on it full time?
The first time you guest starred, niggas was like, yo, that felt good.
So, look, it was like, so a conversation was facilitated and the decision got made. And yeah, it was like, her feelings are her feelings, but professionally, let's move on amicably. There's no reason to, shit on the show or each other or whatever it is. Also, nigga, we still have another show to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we're going to see each other.
Don't make it weird for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who's platforming everybody to be like, what, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck?
And we didn't do this, mind you, this is on the Patreon.
Yeah.
We didn't say his fucking name or say specifics on the main show.
So now this situation.
Yep.
With the deleted show.
Yeah.
I tried. I was like, there's got to be a way to give me the IP address of who deleted it.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I can't do that. I'm like, well, what does it rhyme with? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying as many clever ways as I can to, if I was to go to a certain setting, would it say, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's how the whole notion of, well, go to this page, it'll show you who all has access. And you can see when the last time somebody logged in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I was so excited for that. But then, like I said, the one Galaxy phone in the mix does not belong to any of us.
No.
And that was the one that was currently logged into the back end as I was kicking everybody out. So it was like, hey man, I can't definitively prove shit. Yeah. However, it looks fucking bad, right? Yeah. It looks bad. And so I don't know. I need to talk to Pap. I need to have a conversation with Pap. I need to have a subsequent conversation with Jay. I don't know what happens next necessarily. I'm all ears, honestly, even to the patrons. Like, seriously, like, I'm in a weird position, but a decision has to be made. That's for damn sure. So,
I knew you were, a lot of times I use y'all as measuring sticks for, am I tripping or not? Mm-hmm. Whether y'all believe it or not. So I was like, am I tripping? Martin got mad first.
Yeah.
Martin got heated first. And I was like, all right, we're similar. But when you said, guys, I'm gonna be honest, I need to just do this more tomorrow. I'm not thinking straight right now. I am livid. And I was like, oh shit. Because you don't use emotions.
Yeah. Well, because this is my thing, man. It's like, yeah, you just have to be logical about it. No one everyone gets hurt.
Yes.
By the video going down.
Yeah.
Mark, it's fucked up if it goes down on his account. It gets fucked up us monetarily if our shit gets taken down, and then that fucks up the views and the contributions, etc. No one with access, you know what I mean, gets hurt except for except for us.
Yeah,
there's only one person with access that it doesn't do anything to.
Anything, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like it's so pointed and so like, look. I'm a fucking recovering asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you said if you're gonna be evil, you're just gonna delete a bunch of shit, I'd have made it look like it was the channel glitching.
Yeah.
It'd have been like 3 Nancasts missing. It'd have been, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Girls wanna know missing, scripts and flips missing. It'd have been all kind of shit. Like, I don't know what happened. Some hacker done fucked up. All kind of shit in the back
that's believable.
end.
That's fucking believable.
Yeah, you're like, oh man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a diabolical thinker.
That's
like,
believable.
It would have it wouldn't have been just the most recent celebratory episode of the show I was last involved with and then taken from.
Yeah.
And like, look, man, Jay, if you're listening, if you think I'm shitting on you through this episode, you out of your mind, man. I'm just letting you know. These are the facts, dog.
Yeah,
These are the facts of what happened. I don't know. Like I said, I can't definitively prove anything. But all of this suggests something, and it looks really bad.
I would have respected it even more if you'd have stood on it and said, "Yeah, I deleted it. I ain't like what you niggas said." Man, I'm gonna respect it.
Yeah. He had even said, I think he told you, like, "Yeah, I'm high right," or "I got high last night," or "I'm high right now." And
if you said, "Nigga, I got toasted and I had an emotional response."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because he had told when I had asked him about it the next morning, he said that he went to bed at 11, right? And the nigga always posts on Instagram stories, right? If he's not on Instagram stories, he's on Facebook. And I saw, and I took a screenshot. So I just because, again, while he's diabolical, I'm fucking, Sherlock Holmes, right? Mm-hmm. I have to have all of the proof and evidence that if I'm gonna call you a liar, I have to catch you in the fucking lie, right? So I saw that the nigga had posted on Instagram stories at 11:50. So I had already negated what he had told me and everybody. He was up during that time frame and was logged in.
Now, I'm gonna tell you the one problem that I have with your crash out. We all said, we was like, all right, look, man, we're going to sleep. Don't nobody do nothing until we hear from Burns. I looked at that screenshot. That shit said 7:45. I said, this nigga could not wait, boy.
Y'all niggas wait, because here's some new shit that I done looked at.
And I look back later, so I was like, that shit said 7:45. This nigga Mario said, fuck that. Nigga, what's up?
Mario's like, yo, here's his address. I'm like, what do you want me to do with that information?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Long-term storyteller. We out of here on this one, Alex. Long-term storyteller. Mind you, I've had all of y'all at my house, right?
Yeah.
Jay's been there for fucking holidays and shit like that. And as we're starting the show, Jay was like, yo, somebody wants to send us something, like some shirts or something at that time.
Yeah.
And he sent a screenshot of the dude being like, hey, I'm a fan of the show. I want to send you guys some shirts. And Jay responds with his address. And then I go back, I'm like, oh, that's dope. I was like, that's also dope now that I got your fucking address. Jay hits unsend on the post. You remember this shit? So he hits unsend on it. And I was like, why the fuck would you hit unsend? He was like, oh, I just don't want my address on the internet like that. I said, nigga, this ain't the internet.
It's a group chat.
This is a group chat. And you've been in my home. I can't know where you live, nigga.
Yeah.
He was like, oh no, it ain't like that. It's just like this. And I was like, also, there are only 3 of us in this group chat. Martin comes over to y'all like every day to help you with a self-tape. You've been to Martin's house to help him with a self-tape. Y'all both been to my crib. It seems like you just don't want me to know where you live. And he was like, no, it ain't like that. So fast forward, I'm pissed because I told him in the group chat, I'm like, well, I already screenshot it. And he was like, fuck, but I didn't catch it. So fast forward, when Martin sends the address, I was like, long-term storyteller. Got your address, motherfucker.
So yeah, man. So that's where we are. You know what I mean? Like, I know people been asking me where's Nancast. Like, A, Pap's been out of the country.
He's in Dubai.
And B, it's kind of like I've been pondering what to do in this scenario. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, here's the question for you as you're thinking about it. I mean, whoever uploads you guys' episodes, that then will have to go back to access to him, which would then put you back.
Oh, no. That's the access has all been relegated to myself and, and producer Yo anyway. So that's not an issue. It's just more of, can I proceed with this sort of, I gotta trust you, man. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I gotta trust you. Like,
I'm gonna go to bat for the nigga. And this is real shit. If he can say with honesty, I did it and here's why.
Yeah.
I say fuck with him. But if he does not, that's up to you.
That's why I say I got to talk to Pat. I wanted to talk to the audience. I wanted to talk, I know Mark's opinion.
Man, that felt very. I don't know if y'all remember that episode of Martin, which is also full circle.
Yeah,
where where the little dude, where the dwarves beat up Tommy.
Yeah,
and then at the end, Tommy gets on his knees to talk to him, and Martin says, "That's how he knocked your ass out the last time." Like, no, don't give him access again. You can have him on the show, but definitely don't get that nigga the password.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So we got to keep that closer to the vest, but it's like.
Let us know your thoughts in the Patreon comments, guys. We've said a lot. This has been a long episode for the Takedown, and we had a great episode, but that one was burning a hole in my stomach because I've been sitting on that shit since before Thanksgiving, and somebody that would maliciously try to hurt us like that. Like they always say, if you want to hurt a company, hit them in their pockets, and you tried to fucking take money out of ours when we've done nothing but try to put money in yours, pissed me off. So
have given him money.
And I kept it all mainly the show, with the exception of him being in my house. You get some personal shit in there, rightfully so. But we've all helped this brother and to been bit like that in different ways, and more than just what we've mentioned here. It hurts and it pisses you off. But that's the story, guys. So hopefully all our bell ringers who are watching this, you have your thoughts. We're gonna be reading the comments to see your thoughts. And after that, please stop fucking asking, where is he? Because that's where he is. And you can also find him on his channels. He's a very funny dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look, I said it in the other interview we did with old boy. Like, I think Jay's very talented. There's a reason I started the shit with him and Prim. Like, it was all part of a plan. Prim's a whole nother conversation that may happen one day. I don't know if I'm going to crash out about that. But that's a whole nother thing. But it is what it is. And, I'm not going to stop my flow on, shit like this. Because I had a vision, had an idea, and you brothers have fulfilled it to the max. You know what I mean? So it's like, if people can't get on board with that, because you're seeing the fruits. That's the whole other thing. Like,
real.
I'm like, consistency and buying in is what's going to make this shit happen. And here it is. So, we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm really interested to hear what y'all thoughts are. And, we'll see what 2025 brings.
Tell us what other content you would like us to give you guys for the Patreon. And we want to thank you for continuing your membership. It's been such a blessing to us to be able to interact with you guys and for you guys to give us this much needed encouragement and support for us to keep going. Martin, any thoughts?
No, man. I appreciate you guys supporting us throughout this time, and keep supporting us. Let's just keep growing. We do that for you and with you.
There it is. Before the bell, we out.